Hi there, my name is Kimberly Inez, and for those who don't know me, I demystify technology for small and mid-sized professional service-based businesses so that they can stop duct taping their systems together and start scaling with confidence. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about Perplexity Labs. But before I get into it, if you find this content valuable, if you find it interesting, go ahead and like and share because sharing is caring. And if you see me looking down, it's only because I muted my phone because I am being respectful. All right, now let's get into it. Have you ever met a product that you swear that you are never, ever, ever breaking up with? I mean, ever. So Perplexity is that product for me. And as you know, I use a lot of AI products out there. I use ChatGPT, I use Gemini, I use Suno, Midjourney, and I turn these subscriptions on and off with the exception of ChatGPT, of course. That's the other one I'm not breaking up with. The other ones, I do have them in my tech stack and I do pay for them, but sometimes I'll turn it off and on depending on if I need it for that month. And I do this as a cost saving measure, and I do this also because I can't possibly use all of them day to day, every day. So you know, why keep something that you're not using constantly? But literally every single day, Perplexity gets used. And if you don't know what Perplexity is, it's literally the answer to a Google search. And I'm going to talk about Google in another video because they just recently released a whole bunch of new features, including their AI search. And I believe it's because, you know, there is some competition with Perplexity. So Perplexity takes your searches up a lot. I was going to say up a notch, but it's not even a notch. It's a whole lot. And it's the type of tool that if you put in a search query, you will get a nice listed result of searches. You can get your sources, you get so many other things. But if you already know what Perplexity is, I'm going to show you what it just released because this blows my mind. So I will never ever break up with Perplexity. I will never not be a subscriber. And in fact, what I'm going to show you today is a feature called Perplexity Labs, with which you do need to be subscribed to. And I totally think it's worth the $20 a month, particularly if you're a business, if you do any sort of research, content creation, if you need to stay up to date on facts, news, if you want to be able to fact check and look at sources of information, make sure that you know, things are accurate, up to date. If you want to use multiple models within one platform, I know subscribing to all these models, like I said before, can get a little expensive. So if you want something that is kind of a Swiss Army knife, I suggest that you give Perplexity a chance. And if you're not yet using it, you can use it for free, of course. I don't think you get the Pro Search. You definitely don't get Deep Research, and you don't get Labs. But at least you can get a taste of what a query or a search looks like. But if you are already using Perplexity, the free one, go ahead and pay the $20. And I'm not an affiliate. Nobody's paying me to say this, but I do evangelize products that I like. So without further ado, let's take a look to see what is under the hood with Perplexity and what they just came out with in Labs. Without further ado, let's take a look at Perplexity. If you haven't used Perplexity before, I'm going to spend a few minutes just talking about what it is and how you can use it in your business. And then I'm going to go into the Labs feature. I use Perplexity in replacement or as a substitute for a Google search, although I'm not trying to take anything away from Google because I am going to do a review on Google that actually shows what it looks like with their new AI search and what it could mean for your business, particularly in the area of SEO. But that is another topic for another day. So right now I'm looking at my second monitor and we're going to be looking at Perplexity. So Perplexity Pro is what I use, but if you're not paying for it, you're just going to see the Perplexity logo without the Pro. But it is actually very useful without Pro anyway. But I say by the time you see this, you may want to just invest the 20 bucks. It's good because you can do regular search, you can do a deep research on any topic, or you can use the Labs, which I will show you in a minute. I'm going to stick to regular search, and then we're going to look at some of the features of the search. Now, this may vary depending on if you're paying or not. You know, don't come at me if something you see here is not available for free. Of course, I am reviewing the paid version. But in the paid version, you get to choose which model you want to use for your search. Sometimes I'll just go with best. So best meaning that it selects the best model for you based on the query. Or you can choose Sonar, which is Perplexity's fast model, Claude Sonnet, which is the brand new one, Sonnet 4 or 4.0 Sonnet, GPT 4.1, Gemini, use Grok. You can use some reasoning models as well. You can even use, I thought DeepSeek was here at one point. I guess not. Well, maybe it is, maybe it's not. I honestly, I don't even drill down this far, but you can see you have options when you use Perplexity, and then you can select the sources from which you want your answers. Now, sometimes I will choose something other than web. Web is the default. Like if I want to do anything that's more on the academic side, like maybe I'm looking at market size, or maybe if I want to look at academic papers for a particular topic that I want to be able just to reference papers. This is good if you're in some sort of research capacity and you want to make sure that the sources of data that you get are actually factual and correct. Then you may want to just choose academic. And then social, it will look at like Reddit, for example. I think it will look at Quora and some of the other forums to pull information from. So this is good if you want more of a sentiment analysis or real-time feedback on something that you're looking up, right? I can see that being a use case. So you get to choose your sources, and then you get to also attach files if you want to. And then you also have your voice dictation, and then you have a voice mode as well. So these are the things that you can get in the basic search. I'm not really going to go over deep research in this video, but you have a deep research option. And then I'm going to show you the labs. So let's just do a basic search right now, because if you're not familiar with Perplexity right now, just yet, this will be really helpful. So because I said I'm going to review Google tomorrow or in another video, let's do a search for the Google release. So let's say, what are the latest releases from Gemini? Let me say Google Gemini announced in May 2025. And I'm gonna just leave it very vanilla, the quote very vanilla, because I want you to see how it returns information without additional like structuring from me. Usually I structure the responses very, very well. So here's what it looks like. You have your answers, you have your sources. So you have Google, 100 things we announced at I/O, the Verge. You have like Gemini itself as a source. You have another Google source. And then now if you scroll down, you get a nice list of things that it returned for you in a nice list. And you see, if you hover over here, you get to understand where that that data or where that information comes from, which is something that is really nice. I really enjoy it. And then you also get to export it if you want to. You can export your answer, you can rewrite it. And then also you have related queries, just as you would with Google. And the reason being is that Perplexity and Google are kind of, I think they're really competing right now. So Google just released their AI mode, which has implications for businesses in terms of SEO and discoverability. But as of this recording, I absolutely love Perplexity so much. And what's really nice too is that you can convert it to a page. And what's cool about that is if you want to create a page of information, maybe you're doing some topical thing for your team and you want them to refer back to a knowledge source, you can convert it to a page. You can actually share this to be viewed by somebody who doesn't have a Perplexity account. So you have some options, but basically that's what Perplexity is. It will give you that nice list of information back, basically from whatever it is that you want. I'm just going to click on something else, click on a related thing, and then I'm going to just show you what really quickly that it does the same thing. And then I wasn't intending on showing you pages, but I can. So if you convert to a page, now we can see that it becomes a nice web page. It says curated by Kimberly Inez Mays. That's me, that's my username. And now we get a nice page that we can share with a team member, or, you know, whoever needs that information. So I'm not going to let this cook too long, but you can see some of the ways that in which I use Perplexity. So let's say if I need information on a particular topic. Recently, I really got back into Python programming. I made like a Python like cheat sheet of sorts. I made Python cheat sheets of like different libraries that I can use. There's some other things that I've used it for too. Book summaries are really great too. You can use it to create book summaries. You can use it to create your own mini courses. And yeah, you can actually publish a page. You can preview your page. So this is what a page looks like. You can add to your pages. You can add media. You can add a whole bunch of stuff. It says finding media. This is actually really nice. So definitely not within the scope of today's demonstration, but I had to show this to you because I'm going to get into something else that builds on this that absolutely blows my mind. Labs feature is brand spanking new, and I want to show you really quickly what it looks like. So here's the article from Perplexity, and we are seeing that Perplexity Labs is a new creation engine to bring your ideas to life, available today for Pro subscribers on web and mobile apps. And so I am currently using the web. And then it just says Perplexity Labs is a productivity tool that tackles complex projects. It is very different from regular Perplexity search. So I showed you the Perplexity search before, and now I'm going to show you what the Labs looks like. So it actually creates projects with multiple components, and I created one, and you know, I'm going to show you what they've actually linked to. So they link to about 4, and you get 50 lab queries per month. So anytime there's a limitation placed on me, I'm very mindful of what I call it for, because I know I'm going to use this probably more than 50 times this month. If I started, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, I think I've used it a total of 5 times. So I need to cool it for a little bit, but I think that is pretty generous based on what you can do with it and based on what you know you want to do with it. So again, I'm not going to go into the deep research one, but I will be able to show you what labs is. So can Perplexity create interactive web application? Yes. It will give you HTML, CSS, and JavaScript without requiring external development tools. So you can actually put an app on this, which is really cool. And I actually built that out for you. So let's look at some of the use cases that they've given you, and then let's look at some use cases that I've built. All right, so this one is one that they've linked to, and I'm just going to read the quote I'm going to read the prompt that they put in. The prompt is, my partner and I want to buy a property around New York City with a low crime rate and good schools for our 2 kids under $1 million. Research and analyze the best schools for my criteria. Then identify 10 best properties within those areas we should consider and include a table that evaluates them based on my criteria, right? This is not my prompt. This is the prompt that Perplexity has linked to, or the use case. So here we get the good schools, safe schools thing, property values. We get a list of things, and then we get some data. So now it creates this table. We have some tables here. We have, well, actually a chart rather, because now we see a table. This is a comparative analysis of neighborhoods. Very interesting indeed. And then let's see, we have school districts. So this is one use case. It's more of a personal use case, not really a business use case, but you can see that, you can see that all the things are still linked as would be with any search, but now you have that entire entire report. So if I were to prompt on this again, it still counts towards the 50 that you get with labs. You can see there's a task tab that shows its work. So it says the query requires researching blah blah blah. It does that. It does the research. So it's like you can see the model doing its reasoning, so you can do some more fact checking if you want. It does have an assets tab, which has all of the graphs. It actually has code that it has executed to get some of the information. So you can download all of the assets that you want, including this markdown of the presentation itself. So this is actually the simpler use case that they've shared. And you can also see all of the sources. So this is all in one tidy place, right? So what would have taken you like a week to do, you can do in about maybe, I think this probably would have taken maybe 10 minutes to generate. So pretty cool. And then here's another example that they have shared. Develop a short sci-fi film concept in noir style about a 30-year-old female scientist living on Mars in the future when a calamity hit. Create 9 storyboards and a full screenplay. So this is more of a creative use case that is more fun than the use case that we saw last time. So let's look at what it sent, what it gave back. Again, I did not run this. I did not prompt this. This is from Perplexity itself. So we see that there is the screenplay, the character development. We see some artwork. So this is pretty interesting, right? And then you can go to images and you see all the, I think this is probably images from the assets itself, because I saw some images that are not, so some images that were taken off the web. You can see the task, you can see it doing its work for you. I'm not sure if it generated those images, to be honest. Now I have to kind of see where they got those images from. But then again, I probably wouldn't use Perplexity for this, just full disclosure. But this is actually cool. Oh, you see assets too. So these, I believe that they did generate these because they're in the assets tab as well. So you can go ahead and download you can download the images, you can download the markdowns, you can download everything that it has generated. And of course, it's giving you all of the sources used. So if you're in a creative space and you're like, okay, well, maybe I want, what would you use this for? Maybe I just want like a presentation. I just want stuff for my PowerPoint slide. I want, to generate a cohesive look and feel for something that I'm presenting, or maybe something for a course that you're putting together, and keep in mind too, is that these are just really quick examples. You can also feed this with your own knowledge and your own files. You can probably prompt this with more information and context of what you're looking for. So these are just really quick and dirty examples. You could probably get a better output with more context and a little bit more relevancy. And then lastly, here's another one that they've given to us, their example. So I'm going to read the prompt verbatim. We are a tech consulting firm with in-depth research on technologies in the Gen AI field. Please create a potential customer list for us. The target companies are B2B American companies in a development stage before Series B that need AI technology empowerment. List at least 15 companies, clearly stating their contact information, company business introductions, addresses, and other specific details. Make a dashboard. So this is probably what I think 75% of business owners will want. Like this is, not this, but like this example is probably going to be the most illustrative of what you can do with labs. So let's look at what it gave back. So it said list 15 companies, contact information, and make a dashboard. So here the dashboard features. Here is what was highlighted. So then they also did a follow-up, make a personalized intro to each lead. They did that. I did not do this. So their follow-up was make an intro to each lead, which is really cool. Save some time. So they are following up with leads that it found in the previous prompt. And now you can see all of the emails, you can see the contacts, the emails, and you can just pretty much take this and tweak it and run with it. I believe that this would count as 2 runs, but don't quote me on that. But they did say that you get 50, including prompts within existing labs. Images, let's see, no, it didn't do any images, obviously. You can see all of the logic again, all the reasoning that it did. It created a lot of things for you, including the dashboard, which I will show you in a second. Assets. So here's all the code. If you're a developer, you may get a little excited about this, as I was this weekend, because I saw that it creates HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Oh my goodness. Very, very exciting for stuff for me. So this is, you can download this, you can upload it somewhere else and then actually run it. But what's really cool is there's a tab called App, and you can look to see what that app has in it. Now, I don't know if I love the way that this one came out, but this one's not mine. But you can see assets, images, labs, sources. Let me just see. I'm going to show you the app on the one I generated. So you can see assets of the emails that went out. But I'm going to just show you what I did. So give me one moment, because I actually put something together that's pretty cool. Here we go. Here's mine. So without further ado, here is my big fancy smancy use case. So I said create an interactive market research dashboard analyzing pet grooming businesses in New York City. The app should include geographic analysis, service categories, pricing, business intelligence features. And I said make it interactive, sortable data tables, charts, graphs, and downloadable reports. Make it suitable for entrepreneurs, investors, or existing businesses looking to understand the New York City pet grooming market landscape. So I gave it a lot of context, and to be honest, I used AI to help me develop the prompt that I would then use to make something that is more useful for me. So we can see that there is a dashboard there, and I'm going to show you this dashboard in a quick second, but first we can see the dashboard key features, pet grooming by borough, the pet service categories in NYC, average pet grooming prices, we have that. We have market analysis, and we have conclusion and market outlook. Now, let's go to the app itself. Ooh, look at that. So this may look like a picture, but look at this, watch this. So we have 833 million total market size in New York City. You can see the 6.7% growth rate. So you can see about a little over 9,000 total businesses. And we can see there are only 1 million pets in New York City, which actually makes me sad, because I think there are 8 million people, and I think everyone should have a pet. But that is beyond the scope of this video. But anyway, you can see that this is interactive. So you could click on this, and this actually moves. This is not just a picture. So you can see borough distribution, right? You can see the different sizes. Manhattan has a lot of pet groomers. So interactive map placeholders, I think you do need some APIs there, so that quite doesn't work. But you can do the filtering. You can do filtering by borough. You can see the market size as I click through Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and Staten Island. So you can see that the market share in Manhattan is 37% of the dog groomers or pet groomers. You can see the total businesses. You can see the market size, and you can see it decrease as I click down. So the smallest is Staten Island, being that there are 460 pet groomers in Staten Island. Market size is 41 million, and market share is 5%. So you can download this, and I don't know what it looks like downloaded, because I'll probably do that a little bit later or put that into the newsletter. But then you can look at service categories, and you can toggle off the mobile services, because I know a lot of pet groomers are mobile on vans, so you can click that off, or you can remove the brick and mortar altogether. You can search services, and I will see what that looks like in a second. Service popularity chart is pretty cool. You have pricing analysis, bath only, bath and cut, trim, so you can really get granular, right? And if you are a pet groomer and you want to see like who's out there and what they charge, you can put this literally together, which is what I'm going to do for my own business. But you know, you can definitely do this. So you can have dog size, medium dogs, large dogs. You know, I don't think there's a big market for pet grooming for cats because they can get a little violent, but you know, I guess this is in the scope of like mostly dog grooming. Price comparison tool, New York average, national average, and then yeah, service price range. Oh, that's for a nail trim, because no wonder. I was like, yeah, there's no way a bath is $12. So bath only, that's actually not bad. But, you know, pet owners chime in. Tell me if this looks off, because cats are totally different. And then there's a business intelligence demographics. 600,000 dogs, 500,000 cats, 50% household pet ownership. I think it should be higher personally. Customer preferences, market trends is all here. So you see this dashboard is so cool, and literally all I had to do was do one prompt, wait 10 minutes, and it gave me all of this data. So suppose you're looking for another round of funding, suppose you are looking to launch a new service, suppose you're looking to open up a new location. This is gold, and this, you can take this and literally use it wherever you need to. And I understand with AI, sometimes there is the risk of hallucination, bad data sources, whatever have you. So you can definitely look at the sources tab. I'm just gonna scroll down. You can look at the sources tab to make sure that things are reputable. And then again, you can also, I think, narrow down the sources to academic papers or whatever you need. You can specify the types of sources that you want. Then again, my initial prompt didn't have any of that. So hope that blew your mind, because it definitely blew my mind. And yeah, that is Perplexity Labs. So let me know what you think. And before I go, I just want to take a moment to invite you to take the AI Systems Scorecard quiz. So this is an interactive 5-question quiz, because I know that we're busy and everybody doesn't have the time. You can go ahead and take the quiz to see where you are in your business as it pertains to AI and systems. I just showed you one system that I use almost every day. Well, literally every day. I use it multiple times a day. Let me just stop lying to you. I use this multiple times a day. And if you're looking for tools, you're looking to refine your tech stack, so you're not just spinning your wheels and you're not putting together things with duct tape and glue, definitely take that assessment, because that will tell you which of the 3 areas you are in your business. If you're in the the frame it stage is where you're kind of taking a step back, saying, okay, is what I'm doing working? What else is out there? What could I be doing? And what matters to my business? The build it stage is where you're really getting your hands up. You're really getting into the weeds of, all right, I have the tech stack, I have the tools, I'm ready to implement, I'm ready to train my team, I'm ready to get my hands dirty, or get our hands dirty, because you know you're always gonna be delegating. So like, I'm ready to train my team, get the thing done. And then in the run it stage, that's where you're already capitalizing and scaling on what is already working. And this will tell you what strategy would work depending on where you are, and in 5 areas. So I talk about CRMs, I talk about data management, I talk about team integration, of course I talk about AI, and I talk about something else too. I think automation, of course, automation. So those 5 areas, right? So that is all within the assessment, all within the quiz. So go ahead and do that, because you're gonna love it. Every email that comes out of that gives you a free tool or a template that you can use immediately in your business. Because I know that we have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time. I know that we don't have a lot of time, and you know, you want to just get up and running quickly. You want to make decisions with the most amount of information that makes sense for your business and your team. And if you're just like, you know what, Kim, I just don't really feel like taking quizzes right now, then let's do an Automation Insight session. It is a 30-minute consultation with me in which we discuss what's working, what's not working, what you've done, what you've tried, and where you want to be, and how I can best support you. And that is an option for you as well. So no matter which route you want to go, I have tools and things here to support you. Okay, so that's all I got to say about that. I hope you enjoyed this demo of Perplexity Labs. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed showing it to you. All right, so I will speak to you next time, and take care. And yeah, video's over. See you. Bye.